Ready for a deep dive into a career story that really flips the script on traditional paths to success?
Always up for that. Who are we getting into today?
Today, it's Kathleen Hurley.
Hurley. That rings a bell.
Yeah.
Founder and CEO, right? Sage Inc. Cybersecurity, tech solutions, that whole world.
You got it. Making waves, especially in the small business world. But here's the thing that caught my eye. Kathleen's path to tech leadership started with an English major.
Oh, wow. See, that's what I love about these deep dives. You never know what twist is coming. You just don't often see English major and leading tech companies in the same sentence. Makes you wonder, what's the connection?
Right. Like, what are those hidden links, the skills she tapped into that maybe we don't even think about? And it's not just any tech company, it's cybersecurity, which sometimes feels like its own language entirely.
Absolutely. You've got firewalls, encryption, risk assessments. It's a whole lot more than just knowing your way around a computer.
Exactly. So we're digging into her story. We've got her bio, her LinkedIn, all of that, and we're pulling out those pivotal moments, those decisions, those experiences that took her from, well, bookworm to tech titan.
Because I bet you this isn't just about one impressive resume, right? It's about how those seemingly totally different experiences can actually be a strength, especially in a world that often pushes us towards, just being really good at one very specific thing.
Totally. So where is Kathleen now? Leading Sage Inc., a recognized voice in cybersecurity, advising other executives, the whole deal. But where did it all begin? Her bio mentions an early love for stories, literacy. She even calls herself, and I love this, the girl who volunteered on the bookmobile.
Oh, wow. That says something right there. Even without knowing the rest, you get a sense of her character.
Right. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Kathleen herself admits this wasn't some straight line to success. She says she never imagined as an English major she'd be so drawn to the world of technology.
Fascinating. So what sparked that shift? How do you go from, deep in a novel to leading IT teams, handling cybersecurity, and then building a whole company? That's a winding road.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder, how did she connect those dots? It's like you've got this love for language, this passion for making things accessible, and then suddenly, bam, you're on the front lines of cybersecurity.
And that's where it gets really interesting. Think about it, though. At its heart, tech is about communication, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're connecting systems, you're transmitting data. It's like you're telling a story, but through code, through design, through the whole user experience.
Oh, when you put it like that, it's so obvious. That love of language, that's an English major's bread and butter, it translates directly into the language of tech.
Exactly. And this isn't just like a happy accident, Kathleen took steps. She built on that foundation. Look at those certifications on her LinkedIn. MCSA, NET, CISM. She didn't just talk the talk.
She really dove in, got her hands dirty.
Exactly. Those aren't just letters. Those are proof that she went out and mastered those technical skills.
Yeah.
That's huge for anyone who's ever felt intimidated by the tech field, You don't have to be born a coding genius to make a real impact.
It's encouraging. And it didn't stop there. She goes and gets her MBA. It's like she's saying, okay, I've got the tech side down. Now let's master the business landscape.
Strategic thinking, leadership on a larger scale. It's that constant evolution, that drive to keep learning that's really inspiring. But let's see how those skills played out in the real world, right? Let's talk about that career trajectory, because those are some serious milestones. CBRE, Madison International Realty, those are big players.
Okay, let's talk wins. CBRE first, she didn't just lead their IT team. She spearheaded these infrastructure upgrades that ended up saving them a ton of money.
Yeah, nearly 50% in operational costs, if I remember correctly. That kind of impact, that gets attention. And then she goes to Madison International Realty, big real estate firm, global reach. And her role there, wow. It wasn't just about, keeping the computers running.
No, this is global IT operations, cybersecurity, even ESG considerations. She was in the thick of it. For anyone who, like me a few years ago, needs a little refresher, ESG, that's environmental, social, and governance, right? How companies are being measured on their impact, their ethics.
Exactly. And it's becoming huge. Investors really care about this stuff. So she's not just thinking tech. She's thinking about the big picture. Sustainability, social responsibility, it's all connected.
It is. Though it wasn't all easy wins, was it? Her bio mentions ransomware attacks, SEC audits, navigating a global pandemic. I mean, talk about trial by fire.
Right. Makes you realize these weren't just bullet points on a resume. Those were moments that really tested her mettle. A ransomware attack can bring a company to its knees. And SEC audits, those are intense. And then throw a global pandemic on top of everything. You have to be able to think on your feet, make tough decisions under pressure.
Absolutely. Which brings us to Sage Inc. She could have kept climbing that corporate ladder, but she saw a need, and she went for it.
And I think that says so much about what drives her. Sage Inc., they're all about providing cybersecurity tech solutions, but specifically tailored to small and mid-sized businesses. That's a market that often gets overlooked. The big guys, they have resources, but smaller companies, they're vulnerable.
Totally. It goes back to that idea of accessibility, which seems to be a theme with Kathleen, that everyone deserves the tools they need to succeed, no matter their size. And in this case, she's giving them the tools to protect themselves.
Because those cyber threats, they don't discriminate. And to top it all off, she's not just building a company, she's giving back in a big way. Chief, the Forbes Technology Council, she's mentoring women leaders, pushing for more diversity in tech, using her platform to lift others up.
It's amazing. I love how it all connects back. The girl who volunteered on the bookmobile, sharing stories, now she's a CEO, sharing her expertise, building a more inclusive, more accessible tech world. Really inspiring stuff.
It really is. And I think that's the biggest takeaway from all of this. Your path to success, it doesn't have to fit a mold. If a love for literature can lead to cybersecurity expertise to leading a company, it makes you wonder what seemingly impossible combinations we're all capable of. What passions, what experiences are you sitting on that could unlock something amazing? Something to think about.